Hey guys. So today we're going to be doing something a lot different than normal. It's 7:30 p.m. I just got home and I'm seeing a friend in about an hour. So I don't really have enough time for a traditional vlog. Instead, I thought I'd take one of these tests. I took one in high school, I took one in college. I got different answers each time. So I'm excited to see where I stand now that I'm 23, soon to be 24. Let's get started. So I'm going to answer as honestly as I can and give a bit of background for each of these if they warrant it. So let's see. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. I don't think so. Some events it is a bit awkward, like networking and stuff, which I don't think anybody enjoys, but for the most part, I'm pretty talkative. You so often get lost in your thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. I think so. I'm definitely one to zone out. I think that was a big problem in college. Maybe not so much more anymore. You try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. A little bit. I'll get back to my clients immediately if necessary. But other than that, I kind of let it slide a little bit more than I should. You find it easy to stay relaxed when there is some pressure. Definitely. Today, my accelerator got pinned to my car, and that's another video entirely. But I managed to stay calm, popped it neutral, turned the car off, kind of the normal process. So I like to think that I'm good under pressure. You do not usually initiate conversations. I don't think so. Kind of like the first one there. I'm pretty talkative, and that's how it's been for a few years now. And you rarely do something out of just curiosity. I don't think so at all. Most of the things I do are out of curiosity. I once threw my mail keys as high as I could in the air just to see what would happen, and I lost them. That's the end of that story. You feel superior to other people. I don't like this question, and I maybe regret making this video public. I think there are certain things I do that I don't notice other people doing, so maybe in that way there is that, or it's just that I'm narcissistic, but I'm gonna go here. Being organized is more important than adaptable. Definitely not. I think a lot of situations call for creativity and quick spur of the moment thinking, so I'm gonna go with that one. You're highly motivated and energetic. I like to think so. I'm always working on too many things at any given time. Winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. I don't think so. Even back when I was in school, a lot of my decisions were based on the right decision as opposed to what would make everyone happy. And I guess that makes me a little bit cold in groups, but that's kind of how I feel. You have to feel as though you justify yourself to other people. I don't think so at all. I don't really care much what other people think about me, and I definitely don't really justify it. And your home and work environments are quite tidy. Not really. My desk is a bit of a mess right now, but I'm making an effort to kind of purge everything and, tidy up a little bit. You don't mind being the center of attention, definitely. I'm like public speaking or anything like that, so it's not really an issue for me. And you're more practical than creative. Definitely not. There are some practical elements that I think I do have, but overall, it's definitely more the creative side. People rarely upset me, for sure. I don't really remember the last time someone made me angry. And to be honest, it's been that way as long as I can remember. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. I'd say so to an extent. I do like a little bit of the spur of the moment, hey, let's go here or do this. I don't have a full itinerary, but I like to know where I'm going just so I can, if there's a restaurant, I'll check it out online so I know what I want to order beforehand. I hope everyone else does that, or I'm weird. It's often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. I don't think so. I think I can be pretty empathetic a lot of the time, and my mood can change quickly. Kinda. I'd say so. In a discussion, truth is more important than sensitivities, for sure. Again, that kind of goes back to the other question. I don't really care too much what people think a lot of the time, and that's just how it's been. You rarely worry about how your actions affect other people. A little bit. I care what other people think if I'm going to do something, malicious to them accidentally. But just on, will I care what they think? Probably not. My work is definitely more random energy spikes. I work random hours really whenever I feel like it, as opposed to, a certain amount of time a day. That's also the reason I'm making this video today instead of anything else. I'd say I'm envious of others to an extent. There are a lot of things people have that I want, and I think that is a character flaw that I'm working on. An interesting book or video game is often better than a social event. Definitely not. I like being around people. I don't like being around books as much. Other than the occasional game of Fortnite, I don't really play video games. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. I don't think so. I think it's the idea itself that's the most important. And that kind of carries into the next question, I think. Ideas, fantasies, daydreams, whatever you want to call them, rarely, are more important than practical sensibilities. You often find yourself lost in thought while walking in nature, sure. If someone doesn't respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you said something wrong, a little bit. Sometimes I've gotten a lot better now, but if I'm messaging somebody I like or something and they don't respond, I kind of get worried for a sec, and I think most people do. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. I've been thinking about this one for a little bit. I'd say I agree. I think intelligence can be taught, but kindness is something that's inherent, and you can't really change that as easily. You do not let other people influence your actions, for sure. I really don't care what most people think about me, and I think kind of what I do reflects that. When I sleep, my dreams focus on the real world. Definitely not. I dream about a lot of random stuff. I write it all down, but I'm not making a video about that. It does not take you much time to get involved in social activities at your workplace. For sure, I think a lot of people do have the ability to know their coworkers really well. I work remote, so I work from home almost every single workday. So any chance I get to meet other people and be around people, I'm all about. I'm definitely more of an improviser than a planner, kind of. I think improvisation's huge, but at the same time, there has to be a backbone of work ethic and something substantial behind it. And your emotions control you more than you control them. This is a tricky one. I want to put neutral, but the survey told me not to. So I'm going to put maybe a little bit agree. You enjoy going to social events that play dress up or role play. If they mean dress up as a suit, then sure. If they mean dress up as in like a goblin, then no. I mean, I just don't have friends who are into that. Maybe. You often spend your time exploring unrealistic, don't even need to read the end of that. You'd rather improvise than spend time, for sure. You're a reserved and quiet person. I don't think so. In high school, it would have been here, but not so much anymore. If you had a business, you'd find it very difficult to fire loyal, but I'd say it would be tricky. At the end of the day, numbers are numbers, but if someone's been loyal and if they've been a good person, that's gonna suck. You contemplate the reasons for human existence more than I'd like. Logic is more important than heart when it comes to making decisions. I don't think so. I think so. No, a little bit disagree. I think there's a gut reaction in a lot of us that we don't give enough credit for. So I'm going to go with that. And keeping your options open is way yes, for sure. I think anything can change quickly, and if you put all our eggs in one basket, we're just gonna end up disappointed. If your friend's sad, you're mostly all right. For this question, I've actually been changing how I answer stuff like this. A lot of the times when my friends came to me and they weren't feeling too great, I'd give them alternatives, but I think a lot of the time people just want to be heard. So I'm gonna go here for this one. You rarely feel insecure. A little bit. I feel secure with most things I do, but there's definitely a level of insecurity there as well. You have no difficulties coming up with a personal timetable. A little bit. Most of the stuff I do, let's say if it's work or back when I was in school related, that would suck. I would be really bad at that. But something like keeping up a video, tomorrow is actually I believe the 4th month in a row I've been making daily videos, which is kind of cool. Being right is more important than being cooperative. I think so, to an extent. That brings you back to the whole group thing. As long as we get the job done, it doesn't really matter if everyone's super happy about it, in my opinion. You think everyone's views should be respected, regardless if there are facts or not. No, I think there's some kind of mindsets out there that I don't really agree with whatsoever, and I wouldn't respect those. Anti-vaccination or like stuff like that. I just have my mindset. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people, for sure. And I do misplace my things sometimes. I don't see myself as... I do see myself as a little bit emotionally stable. That doesn't sound very stable. Small things I tend to think about way more than I should. But as a whole, I'm definitely a stable person. I'm definitely thinking of new things all the time. And I would call myself a dreamer. I find it difficult to relax when talking. Not at all. I love public speaking and any sort of audience that I can get. That's why I have a YouTube channel. I rely on experience over imagination. I don't think so. There's certain levels that, certain expertises that I do have that I think everyone has that they would rely on as a crutch. But free thinking and using your imagination's super underrated. And I don't care what people really think. Last questions. Cool. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls. I don't think so. I'm definitely one of those people. If we're at a party or something and everyone's dancing, I'm gonna try to go up there because why would you sit on the corner? Yes, I do have a tendency to procrastinate when it's stuff I don't care about, but when I do care about it, I make it. I'm not putting it up here because, again, this video is it's already 8 p.m. But yeah. I feel anxious in stressful situations. I don't think so. Most situations I can kind of handle being stable emotionally, but there are some things that I do get a bit worried about. It's more rewarding to be liked than to be powerful. I'd say so, to an extent. It's important to be kind of popular or just known as a good person as opposed to just power, because power is not always a good thing. You've always been interested in unconventional, ambiguous things. I'd say so. I like movies a lot. I think I like art. I don't really like books, but there's that. And I do take initiative in social situations. Let's see. All right, so personality type, ENTP A. I think that's just an ENTP. So I'm 85% extroverted, which I can agree with. Energy is intuitive. It's almost split 50-50 between thinking and feeling. And in terms of tactics, I am prospecting. I'm not quite sure. Oh, lovely. Okay. So, the debater personality type is the ultimate devil's advocate, thriving on the process of shredding arguments and beliefs and letting the ribbons drift in the wind for all to see. Debaters don't do this because they are trying to achieve some deeper purpose or strategic goal, but for the simple reason that it's fun. Well, that doesn't sound very good. No one loves the process of mental sparring more than debaters, as it gives them a chance to exercise their effortlessly quick wit, broad accumulated knowledge base, and capacity for connecting disparate ideas to prove their points. I want to take a quick look at all these, actually. Strengths: knowledgeable, quick thinker, original, brainstormer, charismatic, energetic. I sound like a narcissist, but I do agree with that. That's probably one of the weaknesses. I'm definitely argumentative. I can be insensitive and intolerant. I cannot focus on most things for the life of me, and I don't like practical things. So this is spot on so far. Terms of relationships. Oh, this is just a giant paragraph. Okay. They test their partner's limits for this kind of potential, pushing boundaries and traditions, looking for open-mindedness and spontaneity. I definitely agree. Most of the relationships I've had, the more successful ones, have been when the people they feel like they're smarter than me, or they kind of snap back at me as much as I kind of, go at them. So it's that kind of quick-witted nature that I really like. Friendships. Loyalty, support, emotional feedback are not what debaters look for. The last thing they want to hear is "you're right." It's often easy for them to test compatibility. They just need to test compatibility. They're quick-witted, and their primary means of expressing this are in the form of arguments or discussions. This one's interesting. I think my friends are split between people who are quick-witted and highly charged to a lot more personable people which there can be some issues there too. So maybe on this one. Parenthood, oh geez. One thing with the debater they love more than anything is a good challenge. Likely to give their young children the freedom to explore on their own, focusing on independence, creating unorthodox environments for their children. Founded in enthusiasm and the joy of discovery. Oh, for sure. Career paths, interesting. So if you don't know, I work in business and marketing right now, and I eventually want to transition into film. So any environment that lets them devise new approaches, new ideas, and new projects that allows them to push the limits of their creativity. So that's pretty much exactly in line with where I want to be. Workplace habits. Dynamics clears with debater subordinates. They're comfortable challenging their manager's ideas. Colleagues can be polarizing as their passions for brainstorming, debate, and overanalysis drive more practical colleagues crazy. That's fair. Conclusion. So, armed with a powerful intellect and vivid imagination, debaters can overcome or outmaneuver obstacles that seem unbeatable to most. At the same time, their many quirks, such as often unconstrained rationalism, lead to many misunderstandings. Those misunderstandings end there. What you have read is just so far an introduction, and I'd probably have to subscribe to their email list in order to read the rest. But overall, I definitely agree with this. I think it's interesting, and the friend thing's a bit hit or miss, but I think everything else is pretty spot on. I'm doing this because I'm genuinely interested, not just for the engagement. But if you know what type you are, can you leave a comment or something? Because I'm kind of curious what other people are, and more so if you believe in what they said. And if you made it to the end of this 17-minute video, then thank you as well. Bye.